Absolutely.
Well, and then the other thing you're talking about, the people I know and the other ones, we know what the plans are. I mean, it's public knowledge. It's the sequence of time, and it's better to be prepared with all the information as much as you can, because how do you know what they're going to be meeting and what are they going to be doing on Monday or Tuesday? Well, we can kind of have a prediction of what it is by our inside sources of these other places of what they have. Like when I was in China, this is 20-some years ago, I was running around with the government leaders over there. They know what was happening then. And so it's a question of getting the whole mankind. You've got this 6 billion. Now, I've changed our website, and we're in the process of setting up a place for, quote, ground crew people to be able to work. And my website's nohoax.com. And the same thing, we have so many people. I mean, I got all over the world. I mean, I had one a group of people in the middle of Africa that emailed on that, quote, they're ground crew members, and they read all of the information that I have for free on my website. So it's a good plan to go on it. Let's plan. Get together with other people of like minds, and the way to do that is like you guys are doing now. Have a seminar that's kind of your leaders that will spread out. We're doing that seminar coming up in September in Los Angeles. I'm doing a couple of them in Ecuador in August. I mean, it just happened. I got invites now to Africa. I don't know if I want to go down there or not, but every place is happening things, and it's a good thing.
I would go in a half a second. You're invited to South Africa, isn't that right?
Yeah, I'm supposed to be going if I can find time in my schedule. I'm working as you know, the Nexus Magazine group down there. There's a lot of people in Australia want me to come down there too. But how much time do you guys do? A lot of traveling. You run out after a while, don't you?
Well, we run out of money.
But
actually, regarding the Awake and Aware in LA, that's the name of the conference, and George, so everyone out there knows, is going to be speaking. He's one of our speakers in the 19th and 20th of September. And we just had Jordan Maxwell. He came on board for just a day or two, and then he actually had to cancel and said he's
Jordan just did that. Let me call that character.
Yeah, I mean, and I love Jordan. Jordan Maxwell is just really a stellar guy. He's so brilliant. And he's really the leader, I think, of the investigation into the symbolism of the Illuminati and the occult from way back. I think he's been doing it for like 40 years. Way before Ike, way before, even Sitchin is influenced by Jordan.
No, that's correct. Well,
but you're a good friend of Jordan, so.
Well, I was, I met Jordan. As you know, he was with the Truth Seeker organization, which brought David Icke over to the United States. I don't know if you're aware of that.
That's right.
And Jordan
is responsible.
Yeah, so all of these things happened at that time, and now this is a huge foundation that was set up for that, but that's gone away too. Everybody, it's all based on money. I'm fortunate that I've had enough so I can sustain myself, and I just give away. It's amazing how much money it costs me just to help people out. You can't just give things. There has to be something in there. It's like yourselves. You can't keep doing things unless people help donate to get things that are going down the line.
Well,
and I urge everybody to send money into Camelot to help you guys go.
Well, thank you, George. That's much appreciated, because donations are our principal source of being able to keep things going at the moment. And for everyone who sends us $5 or $10 or $20 or sometimes a bit more, it makes a huge amount of difference. And this is a good opportunity right now to thank every single person who sends us money, and it all goes to enabling us to attend the conference at Barcelona and to take part in that. And then after that, we're going to meet Paul Lavalette in Greece, and we're going to interview him. And everything goes into production, and everything goes into making this information available as much as you possibly can do, George. So thank you so much for your part in that.
Well, you guys need all the help you can get. Let's put it that way. We have an interesting world out here, because what you're doing is putting out information, and that's what people have to have. Now, what the information they get They have to discern the information. Same thing with me. If I say something, I want people to go out and, challenge it. And if they're unhappy because it didn't happen on Friday, it's still going to happen. I'll tell you what. These people, I sat in on these meetings. They're coming along. It's just like the presidents and the rest of them. It takes a while to manipulate them, but they always have to fall back. If it doesn't work, they'll pull something else out of the hat. That's what you're looking at right now.
Well, for people out there, George, that are not familiar with your story, maybe you could just do sort of a really short overview, because this is a really fascinating man, and he has so much to tell people about. Actually, when he does lectures, he can lecture all day, just the whole day, for hours and hours straight. I've sat and watched him. So, George, can you tell us something about your background, just so people know that don't know who we've got on the air right now?
Well, for credentials, I had people ask me that. They wanted to see my licenses that I did. The registered financial principal and a broker-dealer with the NASD. I was a securities underwriter. I was a banker. We actually had a bank outside of the Federal Reserve. I used to sell money to banks across the United States. I became the only one licensed in the state of Colorado to sell money. And the biggest problem we had in that is that there's no definition of what money is, but I got a license. I was also a real estate developer. I built shopping centers, office buildings, motels, restaurants in 22 states, along with a lot of my last big development was over $100 million. I used to run around with guys.
Weren't you asked to build a prison camp at one point?
Yeah, I got a copy of the contract. I actually printed that in our book, Chaos in America. You can see it. They asked me to build an enemy prisoner of war camp down in downtown Las Vegas along the railroad tracks. They moved it out on I-15 now. I think Out There TV went out and took pictures of it and put it on one of their, programs that they had. And that's an internet thing, too, now. But anyway, the information is, when I got that contract, I was a little concerned, and you probably had a couple of, FBI people on. What I did was give it to my friend who was former head of the FBI, and I said, what am I going to do with this contract? And he says, let me look at it. And he come back and he said, they're building them all over the country, and they are. I get all kinds of people calling and tell me, and they're showing them to me. They're getting ready for this, and it says right on it, enemy prisoner war count. Now, the question is, who's the enemy?
That's the question. Who is the enemy, George?
Well, I never did get an answer back from that, and they're building them out there, and it's all people are just taking contracts and building this stuff. So, who is going to be? There's prison camps, as you know, in the United States that are totally empty right now. I mean, look what they were doing up in Montana, trying to get all the prisoners coming up from Guantanamo because they have an empty prison that they built. This is all a brand new prison that's totally empty, and they build it for the town, and there's nobody out there in the middle of it anyway. And they could totally take care of these things. You think they'll do it? No, we don't know what's planned on all this stuff. They keep changing the rules every day as they come down. Obama may had really good things, and right now, like the medical profession, I was talking to the head of the hospital this last week, and this is in the state of California. He says they're so upside down. He says Medicare is $50 billion upside down. Medicare. Now, you have to look at half of the population in the United States is over 50, right? And we're looking at, we have 50 million people on Social Security. Now, let's come back to my background again a little bit. I went to Colorado School of Mines. I majored in geophysics, so I got involved with the geology, the planet, the minerals. I was an officer of Recovery Resources, which was a spin-off of John King, the King Resources, the company that got all the oil in Alaska, the first one. He was our first oil billionaire. Now, he was a friend of mine until I found out he was just another one of the big crooks. He was just buying his way into the power, that's all. And he got up there because oil is another currency, frankly. You got oil, drugs, and gold, which you can use in the world at this minute. Anyway, I was part of these groups. When I was selling money to banks, I became so powerful that the feds basically told the state of Colorado, to license me. I got licensed, and then they just told every bank in the United States not to do business with me. So we bypassed that. I didn't do anything. I went to the SNLs, but the SNLs, they bankrupted the whole system, as you know, on the SNL fiasco. I mean, Silverado Savings alone gave me $100 million loan 3 weeks before I went into